Newcomers to Linux are frequently intimidated by all the different versions of Linux they find. In this video, we are going to briefly discuss what Linux is and why there are so many different Linux distributions. First, Linux is an open source operating system. An important part of being open source means that you can download all the source code for free. This has led to both its usage all over the world and the wide variety of Linux distributions. Operating systems are essentially resource managers. Their job is to efficiently manage resources, such as processor time, memory, storage space, and every other resource found on a computer, whether it be a desktop computer or a smartphone. At its most basic, Linux is just the kernel of the operating system. The kernel is the part of the operating system that is always running. It is the core of the operating system and at its lowest level. Everything else that runs on Linux sits on top of the kernel. With that in mind, let's discuss Linux distributions. A Linux distribution is essentially the Linux kernel combined with all the other software you normally think of when you think of an operating system. This includes software such as the desktop environment, how software is managed on the system, the different applications that come pre-installed, and even the philosophy and goals of the developers of the distribution. Some distributions focus on stability, while others may focus on an up-to-date software suite for a particular use. One good way to understand Linux and its distributions is to think of Linux as ice cream. Ice cream comes in many different flavors with different toppings you can add to it. Different people have their favorite ice cream. Ultimately, however, it's all ice cream. You can even take the analogy further. There are a number of operating systems that are very similar to Linux, even if they aren't the same. You can think of these as like frozen yogurt or gelato. One good example is Mac OS. Mac OS is based on the Mach operating system, which is a derivative of BSD, one of the original versions of the Unix operating system. To give you an idea of how many different Linux distributions there are, this image provides a timeline of Linux distributions and their origins. It traces Linux all the way from its origins in 1992 to the year 2020. You can find the link to this image in the supplemental resources. The text is too small to read in this video, but you should be able to see how many different Linux distributions there are. Obviously, we can't discuss them all, but we can discuss some of the more popular ones. Let's look at some of the distributions that are currently popular. Note that a copy of all the URLs we will be visiting in this video are available in the supplemental materials. The first distribution we will discuss is Debian Linux. It is the base for many other distributions. One of the philosophies of the developers is that all the software that comes pre-installed is 100% free. It is most known for its stable version. It doesn't come with the most up-to-date software, but all the software works. Next is Ubuntu. It's a derivative of Debian. It's a more modern distribution with more up-to-date software. You can frequently find it as being available in cloud environments. Ubuntu comes with a number of different flavors. These flavors offer different desktop environments if you don't like the one that comes on default. Next is Linux Mint. This is my preferred distribution. It is a derivative of Ubuntu and Debian. It's not as full-featured as Ubuntu, but their philosophy is doing less to do better. The next distribution is CentOS. This is a derivative of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, one of the first big Linux distributions. It's primarily used in corporate environments and often available in the cloud. This is maintained by a volunteer community. Fedora Linux is another derivative of Red Hat Linux. This one is geared to more personal use as compared to CentOS. They have a focus on free software. Like Ubuntu, Fedora offers versions with different desktop environments. Fedora calls these spins. They also have Fedora Labs, which are versions of Fedora with different software bundles for different specific uses, such as astronomy, games, Python, and so on. Kali Linux is a popular cybersecurity distribution. It has a focus on penetration testing tools, but it also has a variety of other security tools. Kali is based on Debian. Parrot OS is another cybersecurity distribution that's becoming increasingly popular as an alternative to Kali Linux. SUSE Linux is a popular European distribution and is one of the oldest commercial Linux distributions. Arch Linux is becoming increasingly popular. It is a lightweight distribution with a goal of keeping things simple. There's a wide variety of other distributions that are available too. OS Boxes is a website that provides pre-built virtual machines for over 30 different Linux distributions that are free to download. It's a great way to try different distributions without having to go through the install process for every single one. Hopefully, you now have a better understanding of Linux and what a Linux distribution is. Don't worry if you missed a URL. I have provided all of them in the supplemental materials. While this course primarily uses Linux Mint because that's my favorite, there is a video using CentOS, and all of the concepts we discuss are relevant for pretty much any Linux distribution, and even Unix in some cases. Once this course is over, I suggest that you explore a few different distributions you may find here on OS Boxes so you can find one you prefer.